Hello and welcome back to my channel, where today I am using my top 3 ColourPop eyeshadow palettes to create their own look. I recently did a ranking video of all of my ColourPop palettes, and these were numbers 1 through 3. This was number 3, and then these were like number 1 and 2 tied-ish. I couldn't decide which one was higher. If I had to choose, I would have picked At Forest Sight slightly higher than Lush Life, but these are 3 awesome palettes. So today's look was created using all 3 of them, and if you'd like to see how I did that, then stick around and I'll show you. And if you haven't been here before, welcome. My name is Rachel. I'm just a homeschooling stay-at-home mom. You may hear my baby in the background. Sometimes she makes a cameo appearance. Sometimes she shakes the tripod. But I just love to play with colorful eyeshadow. So if you like to see tutorials and rankings and comparisons and palette declutters and things of that sort on your timeline, especially colorful things like that, then I hope that you will consider liking and subscribing. Let me know down in the comments what you would like to see, and remember, you can find me on Instagram at Shimmers and Silver. Now let's get into this tutorial. So I had to take a few minutes before I started filming just to kind of look at all these palettes and decide what I wanted to do. It's one thing if you grab a palette and you go, okay, I know the general color story of that palette and how it'll work with my outfit today and what I'm gonna do. But when there are 3 palettes which are all quite different, and you only need about 4 to 5 shades, it's kind of challenging to find something cohesive that's gonna work, and undertones and stuff. So I hope I came up with something that's not gonna look terrible. I have decided that I'm gonna use Old Growth and Amanita from At Forest Sight. I'll use the Shimmers It's Paradise and Hideaway. It's Paradise and Hideaway from Lush Life. And then I'm going to use the Child for my inner corner highlight, and I'll probably wrap it around my lower lash line. That's my plan, and hopefully it doesn't turn out looking awful. Let's see. First I'm going to prime my eyes using the NYX primer in white. So I recently tried the Glam Light Icing Primer because there are a couple of brands that I have which cause creasing, especially on this eye, because for me this eye is more deeply set, so it creases much worse than the other. So the test for me is, if I can find a primer that keeps this eye from creasing really badly, then it's a keeper. So trying the Glam Light Icing Primer, I was excited because they're like, it doesn't crease, your shadow will be good all the time. And I tried it with the one brand I've discovered which so far has been the worst for me for creasing, and that is Beauty Bay. I like Beauty Bay. I like the formula. I like the color payoff and everything. I like Beauty Bay, but the creasing is not my favorite, and it's not so bad that I don't wear it. Like, I still wear Beauty Bay. I still very much enjoy my Beauty Bay palettes. I just have to, throughout the day, sometimes, tap my finger there and try to minimize the creasing a little bit. Anyway, so I tested the Glam Light Icing Primer with my Beauty Bay shadows, like a full Beauty Bay look. And for me, it's not just the shimmers of Beauty Bay that crease, it's also the mattes. So again, that for me was the ultimate test. And my result was that after about 16 hours of wearing Beauty Bay eyeshadow, I had basically no creasing. It was very impressive, basically none. And with Beauty Bay, I would get creasing 20 minutes after putting on my shadows with any other primer, but with the Glam Light Icing Primer, there was almost no creasing after wearing it from early morning until midnight, maybe 1 a.m., depending on what time I got to bed. So I'm a believer. All right, I am dipping first with a medium blending brush into Old Growth in the At Forest Sight Raw Beauty Christie palette. And I'm going to place this will be a transition color, so I'm going to place it here in my outer crease just to lay the color down. But ColourPop shadows blend really nicely, so I'm going to start it there, but then I'm going to blend it in towards my crease, out in my cat eye shape that I like, and up towards my brow. This is just a nice transition color. So my sister is still in town visiting. It's been so nice having her here. She and I have a really good relationship. We get along very well. and she already had a relationship with my older daughter, but she had never met my younger daughter, our new little baby. And so that was really sweet that she could come meet her niece and also just spend some time hanging out with us. So she's been here for almost a week, and she's gonna be here for most of next week as well. And then our mother and our aunt are actually driving in from across the country where we used to live. They're gonna meet us here, and they're gonna spend a day or two with us, and then they're gonna take my sister back with them so that she can see our father, because he doesn't really like to leave the house, so if we want to see him, we have to go to him. Even if it means traveling 3,000 miles across the country. But anyway, that's the plan. So I get her for probably another 5 days or so before she's gonna head back with my mom and my aunt. Well, our mom and our aunt. So it's just been so nice to see her. I love her. She's so much fun. She and I are total dorks, and we share each other's brains, so we're total dorks together. And we kind of complete each other's jokes, and it's a great time. Okay, with a crease brush from e.l.f., I'm gonna dip into Amanita, which is this beautiful berry purpley tone here. This is a really pretty color. There were so many colors in these palettes, I didn't know, and of course these are my favorite ColourPop palettes. I had so much trouble deciding what to do. I'm gonna put this in my outer crease, continue to enhance that cat eye shape by just popping it on an angle up and outwards. I'm not carrying this one super far into my, like towards my inner corner on the crease, but I'll probably do about a third of the way in. You see this beautiful tone? Oh, it's such a pretty color. It reminds me so much of Ms. Brightside from the ColourPop Sweet Talk palette, which I've actually decluttered because I never used it. So I used to have that one, I decluttered it, but my favorite shade in that palette, it was the Ms. Brightside shade, which was a beautiful deep burgundy, very much like this. Now I'm grabbing that blending brush I was using a minute ago. I'm just working those colors together a little bit. And now is a good time to deepen if I want to, which of course I do. Because once you've laid down the color and then blended it out, deepening you can just, tap more color into the darkest section, blend it out very lightly, and you're good to go. Because you've laid a base of transition. I'm also taking a smudger brush into the same color, and I'm gonna wrap that along my lower lash line in the outer corner. Okay, I am so sorry. My camera cut out about 10 minutes ago. I think my phone's dying. I think I'll be getting a new phone soon, I hope, because just randomly it'll stop recording with no notice. Let me tell you what I did. I dipped into the Lush Life palette with a flat shader brush. First I went into the shade It's Paradise. I dipped into the pan and I sprayed it, and I placed that on my inner lid about a third of the way in. So inner corner into about here. Then using the same brush, I dipped into Hideaway, and again I sprayed it, and then I placed that in the very center of my lid. And then I just went back and forth and blended the two shimmers together until I had a gradient that I liked. Then the only other thing I did was I took the detailed crease brush that I had used for this purple shade from Raw Beauty Kristi, and without any additional product, I just used it to tap on the line between the matte and the shimmer so that I could help ease that transition, just make it a smoother, more tidy gradient. I don't like color blocking. I don't like very distinct colors on the eye. I want something that blends together, and the only way to achieve that is by working at it. So I just, with this brush and no additional product, I just kind of went over that transition area until I had a relatively smooth gradient that I was pleased with. And I'm so sorry that you don't have that on camera. I was considering just wiping off one eye and redoing it for you, but my baby is already awake, and right now she's playing happily, but that's not gonna last forever, and I just wanted to get this done for you. I'm so sorry. My camera's super annoying sometimes. Okay, so that's where we are now. The next thing I'm going to do is the lower lash line. And for that, I decided to simply take the Child palette This, open it carefully because this shade is kind of thinking of shadowing on me. It's, every time I open the palette, a little bit more of that shadows just spread all over the mirror. I'm so, no. Anyway, I have a small pencil brush and I'm gonna dip into the shade Precious Cargo right here. So I've dipped into the shade and then I'm going to spray my brush again. And I'm gonna place this on my inner corner as a highlight, but then I'm gonna drag it down to meet Amanita on my lower lash line. I thought about using the gold in this palette, but I already had like 2 goldish colors up top. And I wanted to do something slightly different. So when that meets with Amanita, I'm just gonna go back and forth to help blend those together. And make sure that I also touch this area over here as an inner corner highlight. I'm seriously annoyed about my camera. It's been doing that a lot lately where I start a video and at some point I check my status to make sure, because it has cut out for me before, so I check it now semi-regularly, like, is it still recording? And sometimes it's great and it's just, you know, it's working like a champ. And other times it's black. And it's not a problem with the battery, because when I checked it this time, I had 80%. So it's not a battery issue, it just turns off, just stops. I think sometimes it is a matter of space on the phone. Like if I've got too much content, especially with a new baby and lots of pictures, I think it might just stop recording because it runs out of space. So I'll give it that. That might be my bad. Anyway, it's annoying, and I wish it would tell me in advance, like, hey, you're almost out of space, because then I can delete stuff in preparation for making a video. I'm going to take whatever's left on that small pencil brush and run that under my brow bone. These days I don't often do a brow highlight, but I don't know, sometimes I want to. Somehow I manage. Sorry, that was an Office quote. My husband and I love The Office. We've seen the whole series like 4 or 5 times at this point. We can quote it all, basically. I bought him the complete DVD set for Christmas, and our life is like 20% just Office jokes. Okay, so I think this is actually really pretty. I kind of wish I had like an orange eyeliner, because I think that would be fun, a fun pop of color on the lower waterline. I considered using Two Can Do It from ColourPop, which is a really bright metallic marigold, but instead I'm going to grab a plum colored eyeliner. This is from ColourPop's Cabana Club collection, and I know that because it's got hibiscus on it, but the actual name is all worn off and I don't remember what it's called. I think it might be Plum Smash. Anyway, I'm going to use that to line my upper and lower water lines. And the reason I say upper this time, because I almost always only say lower, is because I often will put a much brighter color on the lower lash line, on the lower water line, and to line the upper water line in a light color, it looks a little bit weird with my eyelashes, I think. But if I'm using a darker color on my lower water line, then yeah, I'll line the upper water line as well, because when the 2 water lines touch, I don't get weird color transfer. Okay, that is about the look. I'm going to go off camera and take care of my baby, and then I'll probably put on some black eyeliner and mascara and just finish up, and then I'll be back. Alright, here's my finished look. I did do some black eyeliner, I did a wing, some mascara, a little bit of setting spray, and that is everything. I don't even have blush or bronzer or anything else on today, I just didn't feel like it. So that was my video using my top 3 ColourPop palettes. I really enjoyed using this. I enjoyed the challenge of going into 3 completely different color stories, and to be fair, Lush Life and Raw Beauty Christie's At Forest site already have quite varied color stories, but I really enjoyed challenging myself and going into 3 totally different palettes and trying to create something that was cohesive and looked nice together. So I actually really like this look, and I hope that you enjoyed this video, this tutorial. I'm so sorry about the technical issues. I don't know, it was frustrating, but hopefully that didn't screw up the video for you, and if you were following the tutorial, I hope that you were able to follow along and that my little amendment halfway through to tell you what I had already done was helpful enough so that you could actually do it yourself. Thank you so much for sticking it through with me, for hanging out with me. I hope you enjoyed the video, and until we see each other again, have a wonderful day. Bye! Can you hear her on the monitor? Happy little baby sounds. And especially, and